Good afternoon, welcome to eRepair. So today I am working on another Samsung Galaxy Tab. This is the SM-T560, I think. Yeah, SM-T560 Samsung Galaxy Tab. A little bit of a sorry state, all works absolutely fine. Just needs a new screen and display assembly. So we'll work our way through this one and get it repaired. First thing we're going to have to do is rip the back off. Then we're going to heat this whole panel up and get the glass and the LCD out, and then we go from there really. So let me grab some tools and we can crack straight on. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to get this back removed and then we can start working on it, because we do need to disconnect the power before we do anything. So this is a little bit of a fiddly one. You are going to have to take some time working your way around the edge because it is quite difficult. But in essence, we're going to get something in between the plastic and the glass here. And it is, you have to put quite a lot of force behind it. So like you can see, I'm getting that in there now. Just work your way around. Sometimes it won't always go. I'm hoping that this is going to play ball today. There we go. Just getting that starting point. Once you've got a starting point, then you're all right. So there we go, that's the edge pretty much released. You can just see it's beginning to go. The only thing I would say is up the top here there is a main board, so try to stay away from prying at the top of the screen. Try and keep yourself to the bottom. Obviously you've also got the charge port down the bottom here, which might cause you a few issues. There is a little bit of adhesive on the back as well, which is also going to hinder things a little bit. But it will come if you keep going slowly. So you can just see the adhesive strip around the edge there. And there we go. So that is now released. So there's our back off, and that's all done. So what we are going to do at the top here, disconnect our power up here, disconnect our LCD, and we're going to disconnect our digitizer, and then we can get shifting with the actual repair. So pair of tweezers, best ones to do this with, and you should be able to get this pried up. Just like that. So as with all the repairs, battery always disconnect first. So lift your little flap up, and then you should just be able to pull the cable out towards you, just like that. So that's done. And then same up here, we can now take this little bit of tape off and we can work our way out across that as well. So again, lifting that up, pull this cable away from you and it will just lift out. So that's disconnected there. And then this little clip pulled up, and then again, we can get this little blue tab up, we can pull it towards us and disconnect it. So just like that. So that's all our cables disconnected. If you were going to do a battery replacement on this as well, you could start prying this up at this point. It's not screwed in like the other ones, unfortunately, so it's quite tricky to get out. So next thing we're going to do, I'm going to get some heat on this front panel. So I've got a heat plate, same one I use for my iPads. I'm just going to pop this face down and give it about 5-6 minutes just to heat through, and then we'll get to prime the glass out. And then once we've pried the glass out, we'll lift the LCD out. And again, LCD is held in with a little bit of glue, but it should just pry upwards. And then we can get shifting with the next bit. So let's pop that on a heat plate. Whilst I'm waiting for that to heat, this is our replacement, just so you've seen it. So it's combined LCD assembly. So you glass and LCD attached to each other. You can see where we're going to reconnect our front cable afterwards as well. And there's our digitizer cable. The only thing I will do to prep this is just get some adhesive tape around the outside to hold the new screen in. So I will do that off camera, but you'll see me peeling it away when we're ready to go. Right, so our screen is now heated up. I had it on a heat plate to 80 odd degrees, so it's quite hot. But I should now be able to get under here with a pry tool. Occasionally it smashes, don't stress too much, because you can get rid of it anyway. And what we'll do is we'll just work our way around between the screen and the plastic frame of the device. I tend to do this at a little bit of an angle as well, as that way I'm not going to hurt anything on the device by prying under it. Just say, don't stress if it smashes. We're going to get rid of it anyway, so it is quite tough, even though this is, oops, sugar. Even though this is quite hot, the adhesive is pretty strong as well, so it doesn't come out the easiest. Just be careful along the top here because you've got cameras and all sorts. So. I don't want to speed it up because it's good to actually have a real-time idea of how long this will take you. So there we go. We should now be beginning to just lift off. And there we go. Just like that. And what we will do while we're here is we'll pull any remaining bits of tape off. How Samsung seem to have the most ridiculously hardcore tape in the world. I've never been able to find anything like it in production that I can buy, though, is the annoying thing. So, let's see if we can get this tape off as well. At some point we will have to clean it up, so we might as well do it now. You can't pull it off, the best way to do it is just a sharp blade of some description. Not a Stanley knife, but something like a craft knife or an X-Acto might do it. With a flat tip, same sort of thing I use for the iPads. So I have got an iPad video listed for tearing down one of those as well. Move that out of our way. So, got a little bit of glass left up here, so we'll just peel that off too. Let's try and get this as clean as we can. We don't need any residual gunk left on here. Cool. Right, now we'll release our screen. So there's an adhesive strip running down here and down here. We've already disconnected the cable, so we're not going to damage anything by just prying it up. Obviously, if you want to reuse your screen, then you won't go down this road. I prefer to buy an assembly because it just seems to be better quality. I don't know, you just don't seem to get the same sort of seal if you don't use an all-in-one assembly and screen. Okay. So there's our screen out. So you can just see where we had tape down the sides, which has come up with the screen. So we'll just pop that to one side, take off any remaining tape on this part of the tablet. What we want is our nice little handy dandy roll of tape, and we will get some tape put back down these edges. So when we pop our screen back in, it's got something to adhere to. That's one. 2. Have a little bit at the top here. Don't stick straight over the SIM tray, it's never a good idea. And we'll just take this off here. If we can. Okay. On the other side. There we go. And then we'll just flip this around. And we'll remove the top cover off the other side of the tape. Cool. Right, so just put this to one side for a minute. We will grab our new screen, which is just here. The only thing we are going to do is, off the back of the old screen, we're going to take this piece of green tape and this LCD cable. So we'll just grab that first, because we're going to transfer that over to our new one. Just like that. Let's grab our LCD cable. What we'll do is we'll just take this bit of tape off. Lift that up, pry it out. Sometimes this has got a black piece of black tape over the top of it. You just have to peel it off. Put that into a new one. Again, lift this little catch up and then just slide it in. And all you're interested in is the cable lining up with the little white line. So this black line that's on the cable needs to line up with the white line on the board like that. So this black line with this white line, as long as you've done that, you'll be all good. Grab our tape at the top. And then grab this tape. For the top of that. Now I don't know if you can make it out, but I've run some tape around the sides, just not covering these two pads or the home button, because that's where your sort of touch sensitive bits will go for the back and for the back and menu buttons on the device. So let's just peel this up. And then we are good to go with our display, and we will start getting everything set in. This one. Just peeling off all the tape a minute. Can't quite get that one, so let's just grab something pointy to lift it. There we go. Right. Off the top here, we'll just remove this little bit of tape holding down our digitizer cable, so we can loop that over the top afterwards. There we go. Cool. Let's grab the screen now and grab our body. So we're going to line our digitizer cable up with this, and then again our LCD cable is going to post back through that little hole. So let's just try and do that as carefully as we can. So LCD digitizer cable's hooked over the top now, out of the way, where it was. This is the fiddly bit, so you can just see the cables through that hole and that cable's up there. It should more or less line itself up because you're going to drop your screen in, just like that. Look, you just want to make sure your home button's in the right place as well, and it presses OK, which it does. We can see everything's lined up neatly on that side, and all neatly all the way around. So that's pretty much it. That's everything locked in. It's not going to move now. So the next thing we'll do is start reconnecting cables. So digitizer first. Again, the little white line on the digitizer cable is going to line up with the gold line on the board. So that's how you know you've got it in far enough. So just tuck that down. That's that done. And then we'll take this little bit of green tape and pop it back over it, just so we're nice and tidy. And then we'll do the same with our LCD cable. So that one we'll pull back through a little bit, and we'll line the black line up with the gold line on the board for the LCD. We'll just put that closed like that. And then our power, lift this up, push it in so it lines up, and lock it down, and then that won't go anywhere. And then we'll just pop this tape back over the top as tightly as we can. So before we button this all up, let's just flip it over, get rid of our messy glass, and turn it on, which it will hopefully now do. Appreciate I haven't got everything back in place yet, but we'll just do a quick test run before we go any further. And hopefully, just like that, it will work. Because this is a sealed assembly, you should, in theory, have less issues. What you tend to find is when you buy the glass and the screen separately, that the touchscreen doesn't work very well. So, fingers crossed, we'll be all right. So there we go. Just like that, we have a working Samsung tab. So the only thing we're going to do now is pop our back on. Now I'm literally going to hook it over the top and pop it straight back down. So line the top up with the top, best you can, and then just like that, we are going to work our way around the device. All the way around. I should click in just like that. And there we go. I should peel that glass off a little bit, and the plastic of the glass a little bit later, but otherwise that is one very repaired Samsung tablet. As quick as that. So that's taken us all of, well, you're probably talking 12 minutes by the time you're heating it up. If you didn't have a heat plate like I do, then your other thing you use is just a heat gun. Or if you really want to do it the poor man's way, then a hairdryer as well will do a really good job of it. And that, in effect, is it. So new LCD screen and digitizers fitted. Straight back in, we've reconnected the cables, we've put the power back on, we've turned it on, we've given it a very quick test run. I will do a proper run later just to make sure it all works absolutely fine as expected. And as I say, that's it. So hopefully you found this video useful. It's shown you how to take the device apart a little bit. I hope to do another follow-up video with how to replace the charge port on it, and also how to do a factory default on this, because this one I bought and was not factory defaulted, so I have had to do that. So we'll do a couple of follow-ups so you can see how to do that as well. But as I say, if you liked the video, if you found it useful, please drop me a comment, leave me a like, subscribe to the channel, press the little bell icon so you can get future notifications. We've got loads of content coming up, so lots of new stuff to watch. I've been doing a little bit of a mini series on a very pink Dell laptop that hopefully you've all seen, that needs a bit more love. I've got a few more things to fit on that, and a few more bits and bobs of repairs to do to bring that up to standard. So yeah, subscribe, and hopefully you'll see our new content. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.